Hi, and welcome to this this session of the End of Life Journey and Beyond, the Sands of Time. My name is Lisa Strauss Lawrence, and I'm a bereavement specialist. Good morning, Susan. Nice to see you today.
Good morning, Lisa. I'm so happy to be here today because to me, what we're talking about today is really, really important for family, friends. It's all about gifting. It's gifting during the holidays, but especially when you have a person who's maybe at the end of their life, right, in the last milestone of their lives, or a person who's passed, and you don't know what to give them after the fact, after they've lost a loved one. So we have some really cool and special and unique ideas that you can throw around a little bit. And all these ideas we were talking about are a little bit different for each person, because not everybody will love the same thing as you do. So you really have to think of the gifts, but think of the person in your heart, and really think about them and get creative on something that they might personally enjoy. Again, before they leave or after they've lost a loved one, because this is all we talk about in this YouTube channel, right?
Yes,
About
that's
before,
right.
during, and after end of life. So Lisa, I know you thought of a few things this week.
Yeah, let's first talk about time. I think
Yeah.
that time is so precious, and people don't, appreciate each moment. And so the time that you have with people and the time that you can spend with them, going maybe a special place or someplace that means something to them, something that has some meaning. Maybe it was something from their past and they love that place, or maybe it's a place that they visited, or so time. I think that people don't
That's huge.
understand.
That's huge. And again, this goes for the person in the last few months of their life. And this goes for somebody that's lost somebody really special. To get them to go in the car is big, because they're not going to want to do things and they're not going to want to go out. So what Lisa just explained, time, it's so big. You're giving them your heart. You're giving them, a couple hours away and out of their own circumstance, to be, whether it's out in nature or to be somewhere else, or even to have lunch, something simple, or lunch by the water, or something maybe that you used to do together, right?
Yes, absolutely. And then, technology has really taken over. It's pretty incredible what you can do. I'm a picture person. My husband was a photographer on the side, and I love pictures. And there's a lot you can do with pictures. So I've just made for the upcoming, my dear, dear friend's birthday, and she will be 95. I have made a photo blanket. And the pictures that are in there are memories of her friends. She really, is not remembering a lot, but she will remember her friends. And she remembers her husband, who died about a year and a half ago. And I've got pictures of places that they were and places that we've been together. And it will make her smile. It's really a pretty fleecy blanket that, she's cold sometimes, that she can put on, and that here are all the pictures sitting right in front of her that she can look at. I know that's going to be special to her. And then that's something she enjoys.
I love that. I've always been a fan. And I actually even made one for my boys myself. But, for children, if you know somebody, their jerseys, right? From all the years that they were in sports, or you can do any kind of now blankets like that, whether it's with photos or with t-shirts or all his flannel shirts, or all, you can get creative with these ideas, right?
Yes. And it doesn't have to be just a blanket. I've made dozens of pillows. I've made a lot of mugs, especially if I've visited people and I don't know if I'll see them again. They are older relatives. And so the best I can do is a picture that we had together and put a mug, and put our picture on a mug. And then
even something so simple as that, right?
Something as simple as that.
They're having their coffee in the morning, and they're going to use that mug all the time. And we think it's kind of silly, a mug, but you know what? I have a certain mug here that I use all the time, and it's
I love
heartwarming.
that. I love that. And it's
Yeah.
interesting because, we take it for granted because we're this generation, but the older generation, says, wow, how'd you get that picture on that mug like that? It's really very cute.
Now, an example of my mug is not so much a photo of somebody in my life, my husband or anything like that, but it's a photo that it's a mug that I got, and I don't know if you can't really make it out here
You
with
know.
this Zoom room,
Okay, I
but
see it.
it's from Graceland,
Oh,
right?
wow.
And it's the Elvis is all over it. It's black and white with photos of Elvis on it. And it means something so special to me because my dad looked like Elvis. He
Wow.
really looked like Elvis. So that's why I've always loved Elvis since he's introduced him to me when I was a little girl. And it's so special for me to drink out of this mug every day. So mugs are powerful, right? They're
They
important.
are. So anything that you can put on a picture, I've actually done towels too. There's some pretty cool towels that you can hang around that have memories of
Sure.
different years or different things that you've done. Um, it's just great remembrances. It's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Obviously, people make photo books,
Yeah.
and that's great. And you, of course, deal with that. I mean, that's really, really important.
I'm a big
Legacy.
fan of anything personalized, right?
Yes,
Anything personalized.
yes.
So what other ideas do you have that you can give to somebody that's maybe in the last year of their life or the last months of their life, that something else from the heart? Did you have anything in mind that you wanted to review before we go on to our after loss gifts?
No, I just think the time that you spend with somebody is really precious, and people don't understand that. I see this person every week, and that time with her is really important. And we
Yeah,
talk about it, and I tell her when I'm coming, and I tell her what we're going to do. And even
yeah,
just, playing rummy with her or playing a game that she remembered that she enjoyed, or asking her, what card game do you like, and doing that. That is really important. You don't know what's ahead. You don't know how much time there is.
but
And
it's not only her that treasures this, Lisa. You're going to go on for your next 30, 40 years thinking of this time that you gave her.
true. It's
Right,
true.
and it's going to fulfill you and help your grieving process and healing process be so much better, because you do talk about this now.
Yeah.
You talk about the time you spend with her, and come heck or high water, you don't do anything else on Fridays because you know that's your plan. And I love
Yes.
that. I
Yes.
love that. So you're a
Yes.
treasure, to her, and that's
Thank
the
you.
gift of time that we're talking about,
Yes.
right?
And I'm sure there are other gifts that people can think of. If you really see, here's the thing, you got to get to know the person. What do they enjoy? What do they like? Think about and it doesn't have to be an expensive item. It doesn't have to be an expensive, thing. It needs to be something that they relate to, something
Yeah.
that they say, wow, that's wonderful, or I love that, or listen, I bring her flowers every week. She loves flowers.
I
And
did
I
that with my
know
neighbors
that
as well.
especially in June, when the tulips come out, she loves tulips. So, again, the gifting, especially obviously, we all have pressure during the holidays to get something amazing and big and whatever. But even these
Right.
little things mean so much
Right.
to somebody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So thank you for that. And it's funny because usually I think of before a person passes. We were just talking about that, and you talk about after a person passes.
Yes.
That's your specialty. However, when we were putting together our notes during the week, we kind of reversed it.
We did.
And Lisa was thinking of the before gifts. So I came up with a ton when a person after loss. Okay, so I have a little list here that I kept going. So interject, Lisa, with all your input as we move through this list, because I'm sure a lot
I
of these will be close to your
and
heart.
I have one that was given to me right after my husband died. And I want to show that as well.
Well,
So,
let's hear about that first.
okay. All right. So my husband died, and my cousin decided to take his picture. It was actually his graduation picture from law school. He became a lawyer pretty late in life, and she put it on this pillow. And what happened was I started taking the pillow everywhere. I'm going to try and show this pillow as best I can. It's got a beautiful picture of him. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
put
we
it in
could
there
see
so
it.
that you can see it. And it
Yeah.
says in loving memory, and it has his name, and it has his date of death, and it says forever in our hearts. And the thing is, this pillow at that time, I mean, it's still really special, but this pillow at the time did something pretty amazing for me. It gave me comfort, whereas again, everybody's different, but it gave me comfort that I could sort of bring him. I mean, this may sound really weird, but I could bring him with me, and I would take this pillow in the car with me when I would go places. And if I went away, I would take the pillow with me. I'd pack it in my suitcase. And I know some people that would not be what they would want. But again, you have to think the individual. And Gloria knew, my cousin Gloria and Cliff knew that I loved pictures. And since my husband was a photographer on the side, this really meant a lot to me. So I would say for a good year, this pillow was with me almost all the time in different
Wow.
places and all.
Wow.
So
And
I just,
and so, each individual person's gonna like something different, but they thought of you, they related the circumstances to you, the gift that they gave you, and
yes,
wow, look what that did.
yes,
I mean, it's
yes.
comforting now, but it was really comforting during that first year or two, right?
It was, it was. So I want to
Yeah.
hear the rest of your ideas. I know you have a number
Well,
of
there
ideas.
are ideas that I'm sure we've talked about and you've heard of, but I'm glad we had an opportunity to put these all together. So the first one that I put down was Alexa, right? Because Alexa's new in my world because Lisa, the beautiful spirit she is, believed that I needed an Alexa in my life. So now Alexa adorns my living room and we have conversations. And it's really kind of a cool gift, right? And
Yes.
and when you got to remember after people suffer a loss, if it's a spouse or a partner in your home, the home could get quiet, and having Alexa there to ask questions to what's today's date, what's the temperature, what's the traffic on the expressway today,
True.
or make a list for yourself or do things like that. So Lisa did convince me on this one that this was a good gift to give to anybody. So would you agree?
I do. I do agree. And
Yes,
I'm glad to have given you a new friend, Susan.
very exciting that she adorned my doorstep the other day, and I had no clue what it was, but I spent the next few hours figuring that out, and that was fun. Another thing during the holidays, and this is another simple thing like the mug, but we talk about small and simple things, and this is simple and small but big. So it's a Christmas ornament during the holidays, right? Or a Hanukkah ornament during the holidays, or whatever you do celebrate. But I just want to tell you my experience real quick. My husband's not Irish. I'm not Irish. We're not Irish. However, he passed on St. Patrick's Day, the morning 9 o'clock in the morning, and he would always say for years that he couldn't wait on St. Patrick's Day to get to go to heaven one day and meet his father again and have a green beer with his dad. That
Wow.
was I could hear him saying that today.
Wow.
Well, I was with a friend about I think it was a year or two after, and we were in Sayville, and they have an Irish store down on Main Street. And I says, oh, okay, well, I'll go in and look around. I like to look at things when we go out. And I started looking, and they had some really unique ornaments, like the Irish blessing and an Irish prayer. And oh my gosh, the hair stood on the back of my neck. I needed this Christmas ornament to put on my tree every year to honor the day that he passed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Spoke to you.
So
It spoke to you.
it so spoke to me. So
Yeah.
I got that, and now I've been putting it on every year, and it still means the same thing to me. So find something personal, unique, and creative to that person who passed.
Nice.
For
And
the
by the
person
way,
in
there are all
the.
kinds of memorial ornaments now that you can
Oh yeah.
put either the person's picture or the person's name. I just ordered one actually for my solstice tree. that has my husband's name on. And I hadn't done that yet because I have all the old ornaments that we always put on,
Yeah.
non-religious ornaments. But I thought this was the year I wanted to do that. So there's a lot of creative, but that's really
A lot of
nice.
different ornaments. I had a few months after he passed, I had a sister-in-law stop in, and she gave me a beautiful crystal angel to hang on the tray and says, now you have your angel looking over you. And
Mm,
just the way she presented it and gave it to me and what she said, it like gives me the chills now putting it on my tree because it means something. And that's what you're after. You're after the meaning and the connection and the emotion with somebody, not just giving them, a pair of slippers, right?
yes,
You could
yes.
do things a little bit differently during this sentimental time. Now, I've always been creative and I was in the flower industry for many years during my life. And I've always built baskets for people,
Mm,
different types of baskets. I gave them suggestions. I'd want to feel them out and see what the person was about. And I would make up a basket according to who this person was. So I'm big on baskets, and it's really not difficult for any one of you to do. You pick up the basket you want to use. You can get the shredding. Michael's has bags of different color shreddings. You put all your props in the basket, all your materials, stick some shredding in between, put the clear wrap over it, pull it together, and put a big bow on the front. And you made a creative
I
basket.
love that idea.
But
Love that
it's what
idea.
goes in the basket that's really important to my heart. So if it's if it's a woman, okay, that's had a loss in her life, Lisa and I, of course, can relate to this. This is big. We want to feel good. When my husband passed, I just wanted comfort. I wanted to feel good. So give them a basket, maybe with a candle, right? Maybe their favorite vanilla scent, something soft, or lavender with a matching soft throw for the couch, right? Even a pair of slippers that I just mentioned were taboo. But if you put it in the basket with a couple candles and a blanket, you're giving them comfort.
Yes.
You're not just giving them a fruit basket with
Right,
oranges.
right,
Sorry,
right.
Hale states that, but it's more comforting, right? You can give, if they love tea, if you have a family member or friend that loves tea, go shopping. Go to Whole Foods or Wild by Nature. And the assorted teas out there are unbelievable. They have things that mean comfort right on the box now, and you buy
Yes.
them for that particular reason. Put a box together with teas or teas and cookies or some snacks in there. Or again, all comfort. You may have that particular friend or family member that's a wine drinker. Well, wine's going to be important in their life right now, I'll tell you that. Some wines, chocolates, anything that will bring them comfort during this time.
Yeah, that's great.
Even, even what about a gift certificate to the spa?
Nice.
I know especially the year after my loss, I would go, not so much even to get the pedicure, but to sit in that chair with my neck hunched over and let them massage my neck and my shoulders. And there was something, I know some people don't like to be touched, but there was something about the power of touch that was so comforting to me that I was getting my nails done more than the average Joe. Okay. I would go a lot because I wanted comfort. Right.
That
So a
was what I
spa,
gifted. That's what I gifted myself for that first winter solstice. And
there
it
you go.
was just amazing. It was a wonderful present for myself. Yeah,
It promotes comfort, but it promotes some healing, right?
it does. It
You'd
does.
agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Throw a dinner, with friends for their loved ones and their friends. And you can do this at their house, you can do this at your house, but you do it all. Okay, think of a theme maybe, and think of what the person loved. My husband loved Chinese food.
Mm,
Okay, so make it an event where we're going to have $100 worth of Chinese food here, everything that you could want under the sun, invite all the family and friends. And then also, he liked Heineken, right? So pour shots of Heineken or small glasses of Heineken and have them on the side on a big tray. And after everybody's eaten, pull the tray out, write something special. Write a small, even if it's not small and it's a page, write it. They're going to sit there and listen, but talk about him, honor his life, just say some nice, sweet, special things. And it could be a prayer. It doesn't have to be a wild, crazy thing. Play the music that they liked, if they liked a particular artist. I mean, and this gathering is going to mean so much to this person that you did this.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
You thought of this enough. Your heart was open and big enough to do this work, which to me, it's not work to order some Chinese food and put music on.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah.
writing your little thing, will take a little bit of work. But
Nice.
and any theme, any food, any drink, but the coming together with people, that person's not going to want to do it. I'll tell you this, whether it's a year later or 2 years later or 3 years later, maybe 4 years later, they're not going to want to do it. If you take the initiative, though, to put this together and let them know they don't have to do anything,
Yes.
they have to
Yes.
just come and just be there, and maybe not in their home. Maybe that might be a little easier for them as well.
Nice. Beautiful gift.
So yeah, so
nice.
that to me is beautiful. Another one I thought of, wind chimes, right?
Hmm.
And this is a really nice gift too, for a man. Something a little bit different that they can hang outside their back door or on the deck, and maybe brings a little magic, a little spiritualness when they hear it, maybe. And be sure when you're gifting any of these things, because I'm big on gifting, be sure that you write something. Don't just hand them the gift. Don't just give them a happy holiday card. Write something, even if it's a paragraph in the card and not on a separate piece of paper. But write about why you're giving them this gift. Maybe so every time that they hear the beautiful chimes blow in the wind, they think of their partner or spouse or the person that they loved or their mom, up in heaven. And I mean, that's life changing for somebody, because for the next years, every time they hear that wind chime, they're going to stop and pause and think of that special person in their life.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Nice.
The only thing about wind chimes, though, and because I've looked for a few myself, there are really, really nice ones, and there are really kind of icky ones. Of course, they get high, they're more expensive, the more beautiful sounding they are. But always, even if you're buying them online from a place, a good reputable place should have like a little button that maybe you can listen to the chime and just get something beautiful, because you want them to really love it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You don't want a $2 set of wind chimes that is going to be irritating, because it's going to take it down.
Right. Right.
So for men, I thought of a few things that could be, a little bit different. Now, if it's a spouse or a partner that they've lost and now they're alone in their home, that's huge. Because a lot of times women, wives, girlfriends do most of the everyday stuff, and people don't know what to give a man. I mean, it's easier, I think, to gift a woman. Would you agree?
I do agree. Yeah. In this
Right.
society, yes. Yeah.
Right. So for a man, you could do a couple things. Okay. And as far as baskets go, I thought of, hit your Italian grocery store. On a Long Island here, we have Uncle Giuseppe's. Okay. My husband was big on going to Uncle Giuseppe's and picking out he felt like, I guess he was on a day in The Sopranos. I don't know what he did, but it made him feel good. So go there and be selective. Okay, pick out your jar of olives, pick out your different things. Try and pick out things so that maybe they can freeze if they don't eat it all, and or that isn't fresh, that they have to eat within days. But let him know too that you can freeze some of this, because he might not realize that I could freeze it, and it's a lot, unless he has other family members and stuff. That's a different thing. But something like that, a nice Italian basket.
Talking
You know,
about food, talking about food, I think that
yeah.
we all should realize, number one, that recipes get passed down from generation to generation. And it's really nice to take out a recipe that reminds people of somebody.
Oh, they're right. If there are generations that came before them, that's really huge. And that's something that you could put together and gift that to family members, or that's really nice to have that all in one place. another thing I thought of was, you know how the stores have like my friend has a company called the Crisis Planner, and
Yes.
she puts these books together in a bin that you fill out all this information, things about your house, things about your personal, your paperwork, your passwords, your all kinds of things like that. Organize the books in such a way. So you can go to thecrisisplanner.com and buy her box, or in bookstores and online, you can buy one or two little organizer books, and maybe even throw a journal in there, even if it is a man, right? Maybe he'll want to do some writing and journaling. So that I thought would, in a nice small basket, would be something different for a man to have.
Yes.
Um, Also baskets, you could do sweets. Who doesn't like junk food? You could do junk food baskets, or just popcorn and cookies and candy and that type of basket for a man. Another thing, on Canvas, you see all these places now online that do photos on Canvas. Get a good photo of the two of them. Okay. Do a Canvas photo. And they have all different sizes from small to large on personalizations.com. They're not even that expensive. They're relatively, I saw a real big one day for like $50. And it was
Collage.com also,
huge.
by the way, just wanting, people to
Which
know,
one?
they have collage.com has a
Okay.
lot of specials. Like the first time you
They
do something
do.
with
Yeah.
them,
Put your email
50% off,
address in
80% off.
first. Always put your email address in when they
Yes.
ask for it, and
Yes.
get the
Yes.
coupon,
Yes,
because you
exactly.
can always get a good discount off.
Yeah.
Whether it be a canvas, a photo canvas, or I came across a website called paintyourlife.com. And you could take a photo of the person that's grieving and a photo of them and their loved one, or just their loved one. And if you send it in, they have people who hand paint, the
Wow.
photo. And I
Wow.
looked at them and they're pretty beautiful. They're
Wow.
pretty beautiful. And I didn't find them to be that expensive. I mean, a big, huge one for the wall was about $400, I think. And that is a lot of money, but you're also talking about a treasure there, a big gift for somebody.
Sure.
And another thing I thought of for men, and you might think this is a little strange, but it won't be once you gift them, bird feeder. Okay.
Now listen to this with the bird feeder. You ready? And we hadn't even talked about this. I like to watch Henry Ford Innovation Nation, and it's really educational stuff. It's for kids, but it's for adults too. And this guy invented the bird buddy. Now, for people who are naturalists and love to see nature and all, this has inside the feeder an automatic camera, and it takes pictures of these birds and catalogs them
Oh my gosh.
into different birds. I mean, I'm not a bird person, but
Yeah.
I mean, it names the bird, where they're located, what they're all about. It's pretty amazing. I found it on
Do you know the
Amazon.
name of that site?
Yeah, so it's Bird Buddy, and I found it right on Amazon. There's obviously different degrees of them. I mean, the least expensive one was $69.99, and the most expensive was $209.99, because it automatically does some things that I guess the other ones don't do. But you can see these birds, and there's an app,
Wow.
and it can go into your camera and all. And I mean, for people who are naturalists, wow, that is an
I love
amazing
that.
gift. Amazing
Now,
gift.
thank you for that tip. I love that. When my father-in-law passed, he loved birds, right? In general. So I bought my mother-in-law. They have also, I think I got it from Amazon. It's a clear kind of rectangle box that you hang on the outside. We put it on the outside of her kitchen window, right where she sat at her table in the morning.
Mhm.
And there was seed in there. And the birds came in right outside her window for her to watch.
Right.
And of course, she saw the red cardinal. And of course, it was, a
Yeah.
thing to do
Yeah.
with her husband. And it's just, getting creative, again, getting creative.
Yeah.
You can also put a basket together for men and women. If he's not a reader, maybe not, but they have many books that are inexpensive about healing and surviving a loss,
Yes.
and tools and tips and ideas that you can use. And they're not usually, if you're the reader and the researcher like you and I, Lisa, will look for a book like that. But most people in general won't go and buy themselves books like that. But if you bought 3 or 4 books like that and put them in a basket and gifted them this, you bet they're going to be sitting on the coffee table and they're going to be looking through it at night. And that's part of the healing process, right?
So what's nice, and just a little promotion myself, is that my book was gifted to a few people who had lost people. Because it's a moving on book, and it's
Right.
because it's about families and what they've done with their lives after loss. People have felt that it was something that people could identify with. And I never thought of it that way, but people started calling me and gifting their friends,
Wow.
relatives,
And
friends.
so that's exactly what I'm talking about.
Yes.
And also the new project that I'm working on goes right into that, the story of me. So this is a 4-week project, and it doesn't have to be with the person, the baby boomer who wants to leave their memories, or the person that has a terminal diagnosis at the end of their life. It doesn't have to be that. I'm working with a client right now who lost her parents within this last year. So we're working on the book to put together the screenplay of their lives together. And
Mm-hmm.
all her memories and pictures and thoughts and that she has now, so she doesn't lose that 10, 20 years from now. And this will go down through the generations,
What a
right?
beautiful gift.
So
Yeah.
that's a project that I do with different clients. So these books are really, really important, even if you think you have a non-reader, that you're dealing with. A couple things I also took note on Etsy. Okay. I don't normally go on Etsy. Etsy is a website that everything's handcrafted and creative by a person. But I have to tell you, I've bought at least 5 things from Etsy over the years because I was looking for something in particular. And when I went on the site, somebody made that and I would find what I was looking for. So I did look on Etsy, and there's a sympathy blanket on there, and you can find them in different places, but this one struck me because it was actually really pretty. And it said on it, it had engraved on a nice handwriting, covered in a blanket of love.
Mm.
And then you can add any photo to that if you want to, and they'll put that together. So I saw many creators on Etsy that are doing such amazing creative things. Another one on there was the Alphabet Cottage. That's what she names her little store. And she does homemade sympathy rings, key rings,
Key
sorry, not
rings.
rings, key rings. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And it talks about them being in heaven or whatever, and there's a few different ones. um, you can find bracelets on there for somebody to wear and say something unique, not just in memory of, think of something. Go look online if you need help with your words, but think of something that's really unique. um, I have a client that I'm working with right now that is so appreciative for a group of their attorneys, for a group of her friends that she's worked with for so many years. And they got together for a luncheon one day. And I talked to her and I says, why don't you, acknowledge them for being in your life for so many years and how much you love them, so she did. We went on thingsremembered.com because
Oh, I love that. I haven't been on that site in a long time.
it's a great site.
Yeah.
And she found 4 bracelets for each of these women that she could put their initials on a little circle. But then on the inside, she wrote something in Spanish. They each spoke Spanish, so she put a few words, that meant something to them from her, and wrapped them in a little box, got to the restaurant first, and put them each on their plate.
Nice.
And I
Nice.
just think things like that from your heart are so important, right?
And that's just showing appreciation for just being. It's like
Right.
when I took my friends, I chose 7 friends, and we went out east to the vineyards.
Mhm.
And it was just such a lovely time we had together. And it was just an appreciation of the friendship.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
And a way to thank people too, coming from the
Yes.
person who's suffered loss,
Yes.
right? a
Yes.
way to thank people in your life and celebrating the day on how they help you make it through, and that's really important. Another little thing on jewelry I always have in the back of my mind, and this is a little bit more expensive, but if you ever get a chance to visit the website or the store, Pandora has those charm bracelets.
Yes. They do.
Um, and this is a heartfelt thing because you may even start their bracelet with just 4 charms on it. But you can gift that to a person and say, just say it's my mother-in-law, right? Who lost, my father-in-law. So you could pick out things that are meaningful to her and her husband, like a little heart, maybe a cross if she was spiritual at all, maybe his birthstone color, maybe something that he loved to do, his
Yeah.
hobby, because they have hundreds of charms now,
Yes. Yes, they do.
right? That represent maybe he was a golfer, so put a golf club on there. And you don't have to start with a ton because I know that can get expensive, but for somebody who can spend a little bit more, that is a heartfelt
That is.
gift to me. Like,
Yes.
wow,
Yes. Yes.
a
Beautiful.
major remembrance. And then I wanted to throw in one last thing that I came across, and I got to tell you, this I love with all my heart. I love it so much, Lisa, that I've recently researched um, where I can get the products and the materials to make my own for people, just to have it in my tool bag to send to somebody or give to somebody that's grieving. So it's called a comfort ball.
Hmm.
Okay. And somebody had given me once a little box with comfort messages. And every morning or every day, you can take another message out of this box. This is along the same premise, but this one kind of warms my heart even a little bit more. So on Amazon, it's called the Comfort Bowl. You can find it on there. And what it is, it's a little low, flat, black bowl, and filled in this black bowl are rocks, but they're flat. You've seen the flat
Yes.
stones,
Yes.
okay? And they're black and white. Now, there's a message written on each one of these. So they have this flat bowl on the coffee table with these beautiful black and white stones in it. And the messages that are in there they're just, they're incredible. They're handwritten, and I'm sure they reproduce them, but there's different messages like let your tears join the raindrops.
Mm,
Um, there's one, take all the time you need. I like that one.
me too.
Hold on tight to your memories. Um, all just there is more room in a broken heart.
Mhm.
Now you can buy this just like this, which I love, okay, to give to somebody. I love it's $50.
Okay.
So I did start looking a little bit, and you can buy these bags of these stones in any color. You can buy them all gray. You can buy 15 pounds of these stones if you want. And then with an acrylic white and black marker, if as long as I don't know how my handwriting is, I'm going to
Mhm.
try this. I haven't done it yet. So I'm going to attempt this craft project myself. But then you can come up with some pre-written messages that you see online, or make up some of your own, and maybe even more personal, with their name on it. We will miss so and so forever and ever. And having a bowl of these, and then you just let them know when you give them this comfort bowl that each day they wake up, they can grab a stone and hold it and reflect and review on the message and hold that message with them all day long.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Lovely.
think that's
Lovely.
just comforting, right?
That is very comforting. That's beautiful. Beautiful. I
Yeah.
never even knew it
So
existed. Really
I'll
nice.
keep, if you look it up, Lisa,
I
it's
will.
really nice to look at, but
Yeah.
it seems like a nice craft project that if I could buy the bags and
Yeah.
attempt it with the markers and put my own messages in the little bowl and then wrap it in a really pretty kind of box, that's something that you can give people, I think would be so comforting, during their time of loss.
Mhm. Absolutely. And so
Yeah.
all these things really are reflective of really celebrating people. And I
Yes.
think that that message about keeping people in your hearts, keeping them in your life, even though they may not still be here anymore, I think that's what we're really trying to tell people. I think that people think that, well, they're gone, and that's it, that we're done. And people don't understand that by celebrating them and keeping them with you in these ways, it's very comforting and it's a great way of continuing your life even though they're not physically here, you
Because
know?
this slows down, Lisa, and we talk about that a lot in our videos. It slows down. Relationships change, friends change, and you don't have the people coming to you and knocking on your door and calling you every day like you did
Right.
at the
That's right.
very beginning. So later on, it gets very lonely.
Yes.
It gets lonely. So to do these important, creative, thoughtful, mindful gifting
Yes.
during the holidays is going to mean more, more than anything, more than just the pair of slippers, right?
Yes. 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 Beautiful ideas. Beautiful
Yeah.
ideas.
I
Very
hope we
nice.
I hope we relayed some of our good ideas to people today, and I hope it's helpful. If it's helpful, please like and share our page,
Yes.
because that's all Lisa and I do. We look to give a little education, a little value, um, of things that maybe people don't know about so much. So
It's true.
we just wanna help, right?
It's true. It's true. And we do. So other ways we help. Susan, talk about the other things that you do
I have a
in
few
your
books.
time.
Remember Me, the Story of My Life, Coming Full Circle, 100 Tools, Tips, and Ideas to Bring into Your Life if the diagnosis is terminal, and Before You Go. And you can find all those on my website. It's right above my head there, easterndoulacare.com. And we have a few online courses, eastend.academy, if you'd like some more education and take a valuable course on the end of life. And of course, our YouTube channel, right? Our YouTube channel, we talk about everything before, during, and after a loss. So some of these things are real important. And Lisa, you have your books and
I
your
do.
consulting and
I do.
oh
I
wait,
do.
I,
Go
I
ahead.
started to
Go
mention,
ahead.
Lisa,
Go
the,
ahead.
the book I'm working on, and I
Yes.
won't go into
Yeah,
detail,
no, go
but
ahead.
this is a really, really a big thing for people to do for all different reasons in life. So go to the website, easterndoulacare.com, and on top, you're going to see the little tab that says the Story of Me book series. And in there, I give you 20 examples of 4-week projects that we could do together to get your stories out there. Sorry, I didn't
Yes.
mean to
No, no,
interrupt.
no, no. Stories are really important. That's why my two books, and by the way, both books, of course, support Les Garten Foundation, pancreatic cancer research. And they relate to people because it is about stories of us grieving and moving on with our lives as well, and what we've all been through. People can relate to that. And I also do bereavement groups, and I'm a bereavement specialist. And I think that I understand how to celebrate people's lives and be able to still continue a life. Um, by keeping our loved ones near us as we do each week, and by
Still celebrate. That affects people, family, and friends in so many ways for so many years to come. And you're helping them heal before the person even leaves the universe, right?
yeah,
Or if it's after a person leaves and you do want to celebrate their life. Lisa and I consult on that, and we come up with a blueprint, a plan for you to incorporate to build this life celebration.
I think what's written and what's people and event planners.
Yeah.
You have to look at detail. You have to look at every single minutia to get something that's perfect. So we'll
And that's
help
what we
you
do. And
organize it.
also on eastendulacare.com, there's a tab on there all about life celebration. So it talks a little bit more about what Lisa and I do.
Nice. We love that. We love to
Yeah,
help others, and we're good at it.
we're
So
all about celebrating life, right?
we are. We are. Well, okay. Sorry
But
about
I
that.
want to
We were frozen. I'm sorry about that. Okay.